Thanks for following my previous videos. My name is Mizi the Legendary Dolo. I'm a biology teacher. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about the female reproductive system, its organs and their functions. The female reproductive system and its organs act as the receptacle for the sperm and the ovaries which produce the female's ova. All of the female reproductive parts are always internal. The vagina is attached to the uterus through the cervix. The uterus is attached to the ovaries via the fallopian tubes. The internal structures of the female reproductive system includes the gonads and ovaries. The female gonads and ovaries are located in the lower abdominal cavity. It should be noted that the female reproductive system contains two main divisions, which are the vagina and the uterus. Let's now look at the parts of the female reproductive system individually. The above image is the vulva. The vulva is the collective name for all the external parts of the female reproductive organ. The vulva includes the labia majora and labia minora, which are parts of the folds of skin surrounding vulva. The female reproductive system finally opens to the outside world through the vulva. Let's look at the functions of the vulva. Number 1. The vulva allows the passage of the penis into the vagina. Number 2. The vulva permits passage of fetus during birth. Number 3. It permits the passage of urine out of the body. This is the ovary. It is connected to the oviduct by the fimbriae. There are two ovaries in a woman, located on the dorsal surface of the abdominal cavity, one on each side of the vertebral column. The ovaries produce eggs. In human beings, the ovaries release one egg per month, alternatively. Now let's look the main functions of the ovaries. Number 1. The ovaries produce the eggs or ova. Number 2. Ovaries produce female sex hormones called estrogen and progesterone. And number 3. The ovaries are responsible for the development of secondary sexual characters in girls. This is the cervix. It is defined as the ring of muscles with tiny aperture that closes the lower end of the uterus where it joins the vagina. It is considered as the neck of the uterus. What is the function of the cervix? The cervix controls the opening and closing of the vagina, especially during birth. Here is the ovum. It is also known as the egg. The ovum is the largest cell in the human body. An ovum is a haploid female reproductive cell or gamete. Two or more can be called ova. The word ovum is derived from Latin, meaning egg or egg cell. The ovum is typically visible to the naked eye without the aid of a microscope. The human ovum measures between 100 to 200 micrometer in diameter. The ova, which are the female sex cells, are much larger than the sperm. They are normally formed within the ovaries of the fetus before birth. The ova are mostly fixed in location within the ovary, until their transit to the uterus. Now, let's take a keen look at the functions of the ovum in females. Number 1. The ovum contains nutrients for the later zygote and embryo. Number 2. Over a regular interval, in response to hormonal signals, a process of oogenesis matures one ovum, which is released and sent down the fallopian tube. The above structure is the fallopian tube or the oviduct. The fallopian tubes are named after Gabriel Fallopius. Other names for the fallopian tubes are oviducts, uterine tubes and salpinges. The fallopian tubes are very fine tubes lined with ciliated epithelia. They led from the ovaries of female mammals into the uterus. There are two fallopian tubes attached to either side of the cornal end of the uterus. They are not directly attached to the ovaries. The fallopian tubes form a direct communication between the peritoneal cavity and the outside via the vagina. In humans, the fallopian tubes are about 7 to 14 centimeters long. If a fallopian tube is missing from the pair, then the other fallopian tube that is functional could still be a way of carrying an egg down to the uterus. These are the functions of the fallopian tubes. Number 1. When an ovum is developing in an ovary, it is encapsulated in a sac known as an ovarian follicle. Number 2. On maturity of the ovum, the follicle and the ovary's wall rupture, allowing the ovum to escape and enter the fallopian tube. Number 3. It then travels toward the uterus, pushed along by movements of cilia on the inner lining of the fallopian tubes. This trip takes hours or days. Number 4. If the ovum is fertilized while in the fallopian tube, then it normally implants in the endometrium when it reaches the uterus, which signals the beginning of pregnancy. And number 5. Occasionally, the embryo implants into the fallopian tube instead of the uterus, creating an ectopic pregnancy commonly known as tubal pregnancy. This is the vagina. It is a fibromuscular tubular tract leading from the uterus to exterior of the body in females mammals, or to the cloaca in female birds and some reptiles. The vagina is the place where semen from the male is deposited into the female's body at the climax of sexual intercourse, commonly known as ejaculation. The functions of the vagina are: number 1. The vagina receives sperm from the penis during sexual intercourse, and number 2. The vagina allows fetus to push out of it during birth. This is the uterus or the womb. The uterus is a major female hormone-responsive reproductive sex organ of most mammals, including humans. It is within the uterus that the fetus develops during gestation. The term uterus is used consistently within the medical and related professions. However, the Germanic term, womb, is more common in everyday usage. The plural of uterus is uteruses or uteri. One end, of the cervix, opens into the vagina. The other is connected on both sides to the fallopian tubes. The uterus helps separate and keep the bladder in its natural position above the pubic bone, and the bowel in its natural configuration behind the uterus. The functions of the uterus are: number 1. The uterus provides structural integrity and support to the bladder, bowel, pelvic bones and organs. Number 2. The uterus is essential in sexual response by directing blood flow to the pelvic, the ovaries, vagina, labia and clitoris, and number 3. The uterus accepts the fertilized ovum for onward development. Thanks so kindly for your patience and listening role. Please like, share and follow for more.